not all those who wander are lost. J.R. Tolkien. Welcome to Aegis Travel Adventures. We are Ken
and Giselle. We have been to over 100 countries and are still looking to see what is around the next corner. We love wine,
travel, and adventure. Listen to our podcast where we share the fun of the magical places, people, and cultures that have touched our lives.
Aegis,
Enjoy.
travel,
Travel.
adventures.
Adventure.
This is Aegis Travel Adventures. This is Ken.
Hi, this is Giselle.
And today we'd like to do podcast number 33. And we'd like to talk about a family trip that we did to the West Palm Beach area.
So we went down there to see our kids. Our daughter lives down there, and then our other daughter had a conference there, so she flew down with the baby, our grandchild. So we went to West Palm. We've been there before, but we were doing a little bit of research. I found out some useless facts about West Palm, that it was started as a Henry Flagler used it. He did West Palm to hose the employees of the two hotels down there. So I thought it was kind of interesting.
How's the employees?
Yeah. It was down. It was a residential community, and it was designed to be self-contained. He had no idea one time it was going to become the most bougie place in Florida.
So we started off in Palm Beach Gardens, which is in the north, and we stayed with family. The first night we went out for happy hour, and it was a place that our daughter and her husband picked called Carmine's Trattoria, and they said they had a good happy hour, and you have to go early. Starts at 4, and it's outside, covered.
Yeah,
but it's
bar outside.
But it's outside, has a bar, and has some outside seating.
And it was an amazing happy hour. I'm going to tell you, it's probably the best ones I think that we've ever been to. We've been there before. It's also an Italian market. Has great food, great wine that you can take home, kind of take away stuff. But they also have the restaurant prepared food.
La Trattoria is the restaurant, and but the happy hour food, because we didn't have dinner there that night, was very good, and the wine and the drinks were...
Was it half off all wine or something?
I think it was close to that.
So that was they have a really good wine list.
But that's what I'm getting to is, you go to some happy hours and you get the wine and you think you're getting a good deal, and it's not very good wine, and bad wine at any price isn't much of a deal. So their wine was very good. And we had some other drinks in the group, and everything was excellent.
Yeah, I had a limoncello martini, which I always order drinks like that, and then I'm like, why did I order them? They're always too sweet. But it was very fresh and good. But they had on the menu, everything is freshly made in-house as far as the food goes. So we had, I had some fresh mozzarella sticks that were just off the chart. We had, what did you have, sausage?
There was actually two kinds that they made, and and I wanted to try it, and it was Italian sausage. And then there was another plate with a different type, but both of them were very good.
Yeah, no, we didn't have anything that was bad. And the service was excellent. Every time you turned around, and I don't mean that in a bad way, there was somebody coming to serve you, and everybody waited on each other's table, so you didn't have to wait specifically for your server. So if you needed another drink, you needed another, tapas or another food, they were there for you.
But we would recommend getting there
there at 4.
Yeah,
I think we got there at 3:55 or something.
Yeah, a few minutes early and get a decent seat, because once it's full, and you could stand around if you want, but
and the bar gets full, and there's couches and people sit on the couches, but it was it's better. It's nicer to sit on a table. Right. So
and then we went in the market, and we looked around. It was a true Italian deli. And they had all kinds of stuff they make there, just, I think, wonderful. And they had an incredible wine selection in there.
We've bought food from there before, and I bought pizza dough. I'm a big pizza dough kind of person. Whenever I go to an Italian restaurant, I want to take it home and make it. And it was really good pizza dough. So if you're ever in there and you want a good time, I will tell you it's crowded on the weekends as far as the market goes. We've never eaten at the restaurant, so I don't know, but I'm going to presume the restaurant gets crowded as well. So we had a lovely evening.
And we do recommend it. And the next night, some of our daughter's friends came, and they met us at Cooper's Hawk. And I know it's a chain, But on the wine theme, they had a $12 wine tasting.
Was they're celebrating their 20th anniversary, so it was just until the end of April. And it was a really long wine I mean, it was what, I don't know, 10, no, how many wines? About 8 wines?
Yeah, it was a lot.
And there was
And
some of the wines were blind tasted, some were not.
Yeah.
So they told you, like, this is a white, this is this, and this. And then there was 2, and obviously you knew it was a white or red, obviously.
Yeah.
But then that was a total wine taste blind. And
I
that was
think there
fun.
was 8, and 4 of them were blind, and you said what you thought it was, and then they revealed it.
Yeah.
But
No prizes, but
it was good, and they're and the wines, not all of them, but quite a few of them are labeled Cooper's Hawk.
They're all new. They don't
No,
carry any of the.
they had a couple
Okay,
others
I was wrong. Okay, I thought
but
they did.
yeah, I was a little surprised, but there was a couple others. Now it could be an affiliation with them as well.
Right, okay, yeah.
Okay, but they were good. And then we went in and we had dinner. Oh, and what I wanted to say about the wine tasting, if you join the wine club and you can do 1 or 2 bottles a month, you'll get a free bottle of wine at dinner. And,
Or you can take it home. It
Or you
doesn't
can take it home. And they discounted the wine tasting as well. So,
Yeah, so it's, yeah, it was.
so one of them in our group had a club membership, and so our wine tasting was reduced lower than the $12.
Oh, it was? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah,
But, yeah, I know they're not doing that this time, but there's Cooper's Hawks all over the United States, and they've got a really cool wine decanter.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll put some pictures. Ken bought it for me for Mother's
Yeah.
Day. No, Christmas. And so,
Christmas.
yeah, so it's a very cool wine decanter. So it's a nice restaurant. The food was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't too busy. Our server was pretty good. I think he was a little harried, like running around a bit, but he did a good job.
Yeah.
So I thought it was food. I would go back.
Yeah.
No, there's 2 in Orlando.
Yeah.
Our neighbors have gone, and they've really enjoyed it.
So, so the recommendation for that, and then for 3 nights we went to Singer Island, and then the other daughter and husband and grandbaby came into town, and they stayed in a room, and we had a room there for 3 nights, and we got a double upgrade. Now we're Diamond members, so in the world of travel perks and how you want to travel, I would highly recommend that you look at a hotel affiliation and credit card. I mean, it's easy to join any of the hotel membership clubs, but by getting a credit card, then you get other privileges. Now, to get the Diamond member, you either have to stay 40 nights a week, or 40 nights a year, or you have
Nights a
to,
week.
or you have to have a card like we got, and it's the Hilton Amex Aspire card, and it seems pretty pricey, when you get it, dollar-wise. But when you start to add up the benefits and the things that you can get, like resort credits, etc., it really cuts the price way down, and it gives you automatic Diamond membership. Now, in most of the world, other than the U.S., the Hiltons particularly have executive lounges. And usually for 2 hours at night, they have decent food, sometimes very good food, and beer and wine, and often they have hard liquor drinks.
We were talking to somebody, it was our son-in-law, Charles, and about he was talking about, do you want to get one or not? And his concern, or his thing he said about the happy hour, was that he wants to go try local food and things like that. And I do agree with him that sometimes we do go to the happy hour and we get too happy and we go out and we don't go anywhere. But most of the happy hours, they do have, it's local food. I mean, I won't say it's gourmet food. Some are better than the others. The other thing about the Hilton card, and we've mentioned this before, in Europe or other parts of the world, you get a breakfast that's included, and it's phenomenal breakfast usually. It's not like it's just not a croissant. Whereas now in the United States, Hilton has gone to a credit that you can use,
Food and beverage credit.
You can use it for breakfast, etc., things like that, and I think that's we much prefer the breakfast credit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No,
so
the breakfast.
right. Well, the breakfast,
in
yeah,
New York,
right,
not the
yes.
credit.
Right.
And so this hotel was called and it was renovated fairly recently, the Singer Oceanfront Resort Curio by Hilton. And I think before it was a Hilton, so now that they've
Yeah.
renovated it, they call it a Curio. And we've stayed at other Curios, including in Paris. And they're usually definitely a higher end hotel.
Yeah,
And,
more
and
boutique-ish looking.
more
They're usually
boutique-ish.
unique. You're not gonna walk in and it's not gonna scream, I'm at a Hilton.
So this was on the southern end of the island. It was an older property, but like I said, renovated. Just informationally, they charge $25 a night for self-parking, and they have valet. And as Diamond members, we got $15 a day for food and beverage credit.
And isn't there resort credit as well? Isn't there a resort fee
Yeah.
as well? If you don't pay with points, you have to pay a resort fee, right?
Yes, but now with the Aspire card, every 6 months we get a $100 resort fee credit.
Okay.
But you have to look the list up and see which hotels, and there's probably close to 400 of them that are considered resorts, and this was one of them. So on our credit card statement, we will see the credit, and that's how you help pay for the card.
And also, with the resort fee, it included beach access. Well, I mean, beach access is not really, they don't charge you for that, but they give you chairs and umbrellas and towels. And there was always somebody walking around to give you, to buy, if you wanted to buy a drink. So for me, I like that, because when you go to the beach, who wants to lower your chairs and stuff with you? So that makes it nice. And if you leave, they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll have your chair for you when you get back, and all that kind of good stuff. And I didn't get in the ocean, but it looked good. It was pretty flat inside. I mean, flat as far as when you walk out into the ocean.
There are some coquina rock out there, and I went out. I could see further up the beach. There were some at low tide sticking out at this particular beach in front of the hotel. Only the bottom was rock in some places. Wasn't sharp, didn't hurt my feet or anything like that, but it wasn't all sandy.
The water was gorgeous.
The water was nice.
So pretty.
Yeah, and
West Palm, the water is just gorgeous down there.
So we would definitely recommend this hotel, and like I said, it's been renovated, but it's an older property, and you look around and some of the parking lot things you can tell they're old and just painted, but overall the room was great. The carpets were new. I mean, furniture was new. I mean, they did a good job.
And we ate breakfast twice there, and it was fine. It was your typical hotel breakfast, overpriced.
Yeah.
But again, service was good. Coffee, they were attentive with coffee. I mean, the food was fine. I wouldn't have any complaints. We also ate lunch at the pool with the kids, and that was okay. Again, the one thing I did like about it, there was lots of service. They'd always tend to be around. Somebody was always willing to be helpful and give you your food. So we enjoyed that. It was a nice time. We got to spend time with the kids, and as we say that, we mean ironically, we just really want to spend time with our granddaughter in the pool. So.
So we would recommend this Curio, the Singer Oceanfront Resort, and we would go back. So one of the mornings we wanted to go out and try something different for breakfast, so we went 5 miles away roughly. I think it's in Palm Beach or North Palm Beach, or it's close by, and it was called the Berry Fresh Cafe, and we had breakfast, and we sat outside. The weather was nice. And had a really good server. Food had very large portions. I think there's 4 of them in the West Palm Beach
We've
area.
never been there before.
Never been to one before, and it was part of one of the dining networks that we had a credit card tied to. So we got some extra Sky Miles points from Delta for that. And when I talk about travel and credit cards, there's a lot of ways to get points, and points are for us one of the ways that we travel, and often we use it for airfares, and we try to fly business class where we can, and one of the flights we got was from Johannesburg to Philadelphia with a stop in Doha, Qatar on Qatar Airways, and it was amazingly reasonable for that flight, and they had their gave you pajamas. They had their famous Q suites. I mean, it's like a little room on the airplane, and we used points, and so I think they were tied to the American Airlines network. So It's worthwhile, I think looking at your credit cards, looking at the programs out there, trying to tie things together. When you rent a car, you can always put in an airline or a Hilton or Bonvoy, Marriott or something where you get extra points. They give you spaces to tie other programs in, and we try our best to max out our points, because eventually down the road we're going to go somewhere and we're going to use those points, and it's going to put a smile on our face when we don't have to pay cash.
It's sometimes when you're, doing all this we talked about, it does sound a little more complicated, and I shouldn't say complicated, more time consuming when you're trying to book a flight. We've talked about this before, but it's, for us as we enjoy the challenge of trying to find the best flight for the less price. So for us it's fine. A lot of people, it's just not their game, and that everything works for everybody else. So. But so we had a lovely time, and then we went out to our last night there. We went to Yuki, how do you say it? Utiki Beach Restaurant and Bar.
And that was in Jupiter.
In Jupiter, yeah, right. Obviously, right on. Well, it wasn't.
It's on the inlet.
On the inlet, right?
Yeah, and there's
right by the lighthouse.
The lighthouse is just across the inlet, and the bridge that's under perpetual construction is on the left, facing the water. We've been there before, and the bridge never seems to be finished, but someday I